With the Brazilian Summer Olympics coming up, there are calls to ban Russian athletes because of sweeping doping accusations. Noel Thompson is on the board of directors for the World Anti-Doping Clean Sport Foundation and on the United States Olympic and Paralympic Foundation. Noel, welcome back to Arise Exchange. Talk about cheating in the Olympics. I'm reminded of the NASCAR line, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. How surprised were you when you discovered that Russia had allegedly this massive doping program going on?
I think it was definitely a shock in the Olympic movement. Not saying Russia is the only folks that are not creating an equal sport, right? So the whole part of why does doping matter in the Olympic movements? People want to see their heroes and know that their heroes are clean. And sport creates equality. So equal playing field for every athlete, whether you're from Russia, whether you're from the United States, whether you're from China. We want to make sure when you watch the Olympics, you're seeing a pure sport.
Russia has sort of wavered back and forth on what they're going to do about this. At first, there were strong denials. Then Vladimir Putin says we're going to very seriously investigate this and look at the labs. Have you seen any steps that the government has taken to lead you to believe that they're going to literally clean up their act?
Absolutely. The Russians will clean up their act. Taking an athlete, especially a track athlete, out of the Olympics and literally putting a ban on the whole track and field enterprise of Russia. Putin is going to get to the bottom of it. I was in Russia 4 weeks ago for the World Olympians Forum in Moscow and got a chance to meet Putin and the sports minister and the Olympic head of Russia. So they're going to look into this deeply, and a lot of guys and gals will be removed.
And the world wants Russia in the Olympics. I mean, I think back to the 1980 ban of when we didn't go to to Moscow because of the Afghanistan invasion. We just as they want us, we want them. Will they be at the Brazilian Olympics?
They will definitely be at the Brazilian Olympics because I think they'll do the right thing and make sure everything is cleaned up.
Okay, and so are they the only ones involved here, though? There are other countries that are being swept into the doping accusations.
Yes, but Russia is a big part of the Olympic family, right? So when people view the Olympics in different nations, there are certain nations that are a big part of the family, and Russia obviously just hosted the Winter Olympics, $55 billion Winter Olympics, which is probably the most ever paid for a Winter Olympics. You want the Russians there. You want them to compete, but you also want to have a clean sport.
And Brazil certainly wants them there, and Brazil needs these Olympics to go well. They didn't have the best World Cup, did they? And there's some concern that they're not going to be ready, as there always is concern. Heavily polluted cities, construction that is over budgeted and behind schedule.
But the Olympic movement finds a way to get it done, right? You're talking about the richest people and the most powerful people in the world. And they're all government working with athletes, working with amateurism, and they're going to find a way to get it done.
Summer Olympics going to therefore be a success, you think? I mean,
there's no question. It always gets done right at the very end. Even if they got to fly in a million Chinese to get it done, it will get done.
It'll get done. All right, let me go back to that's very true. How difficult is it if you're an athlete to sort of push back on being pressured into doping? And look, we saw this with Lance Armstrong,
sure,
Tour de France, and all these stories coming out that they were pushed into this. So the athletes have responsibility here, but they're also young kids.
That's right. So now, as example, the World Anti-Doping Agency is going to be looking at the trainers. Right, so the trainers are part of that doping. It's not just the athlete that wants to get better. It's the trainer who's pushing these drugs and giving these drugs to the athlete that are training them, whether it be a Kenyan runner or a Russian sprinter, right?
Okay, Noel Thompson, as we get closer to the Olympics, we'll have you back on a few more times. Thank you.
You.
Appreciate it.